Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens when potential is challenged, refined, and given a voice. 1 year ago, Prime Council was founded with a clear mission to develop leaders, strengthen confidence, and unlock growth from within. We believe leadership is not about position, but about influence, clarity, and courage. Through public speaking and personal development, we help. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens when potential is challenged, refined, and given a voice. 1 year ago, Prime Council was founded with a clear mission to develop leaders, strengthen confidence, and unlock growth from within.
Okay, much better now. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for joining us live on Instagram. We're also live. We're also live on TikTok and on YouTube. And this evening, we're going to be speaking about becoming a VIP in 2026. Really, really important. If you have not shared the link, I want you to share the links with your friends and family. And it's going to be a very, very nice and wonderful time together this evening. Um, for those that joined us last Tuesday on the YouTube live, how was it for us? So I want to see some comments on Instagram and on TikTok. How was the session for us? I can see Oinda joined from Instagram. I'm just checking TikTok now. Yes, I can see they were live on TikTok. Yes. Let me just put a reminder that we're live on YouTube also. Yes. So we're speaking about becoming a VIP, and I know that we have a rough idea of what becoming a VIP means. When you speak to an average young person or someone in their 20s or their 30s, when you hear VIP, what comes to mind is very important personality. I'm here to shock you this evening as usual. I'm gonna be showing you that what we learned as young adults is not just very important personality, which could be true. But as with our world today, one of the things we've seen in our world today is that there's the arrival of new knowledge in today's world. Yes, so there's always redefinition of terms, of contexts in our world today. For example, what VIP will mean in the last 10 years is different from what it means now and what it will mean in the next 20, 30 years. So nothing is ever static even in our world today. Everything is subject to change. The only few absolute phenomena that are quite, static and absolute, for example, death. It's everyone will die. That's an absolute truth. Yeah. Change is constant. That means no one, is gonna come on this set from day one and be the same to the end. Even if they decide not to do anything intentionally, the moment you're alive, the law of life states that you can't be the same. So the difference is not asking, oh, I don't want to change. It's about positioning how you want to change. So many people misunderstand what VIP means in 2026. And the first thing I want us to take note of is VIP in 2026 is not just very important personality, but very indispensable person. So we've moved from very important person stroke personality to very indispensable person. It's really important. So something has changed in those sentences. Indispensable, important. Before it used to be important. But guess what? What is important last 10 years may not be important in today's world. For example, many of the traditional skills, we're now seeing the conversation on the AI invasion. So what was deemed as important to industrial systems, human systems, evolution. With AI, for example, you can, sort out those things. But what is that kind of mindset that will make you really stand out? Number one, when you're indispensable. So we're moving from VIP as very important personality to very indispensable person. In 2026, the economy will not reward visibility alone. So it's not just about you saying, um, I'm important, I'm visible. It reward value. Really, really important. And I'm going to be showing you what VIP in the literal meaning means. VIP. So you don't become a VIP because you're loud. And that's what we find in our media today, especially most of the media in third world countries. Good evening, Olushi. Thank you for joining on Instagram. I can also see some people that have joined us on TikTok and YouTube Live. Good evening, everyone. So, speaking about VIP, and I've said VIP is not just very important personality like we've known, like we've been taught, but very indispensable person. And there is always redefinition of times with different civilizations. So what was held as truth last 10 years is contextual. And I've said, in the last 5 minutes that there are not so many things, phenomenon on earth that are absolute. One of the absolute truths in today's world that cannot be contested, irrespective of the civilization, is death. Whether you were given birth to in 1928 or 2050, everyone is going to die. Eternity is constant. Also, change is constant. So even if you decide that I don't want to do anything because you're submitted to the law of life, it will change either through your physical inputs or just by the law of nature. So nature always take effect. Nature is constant also. But that's what we call important last 10 years, last 20 years is different. There's a change in narrative now, especially with the AI conversation coming up. So people that you thought were important will just suddenly go off that radar because they've not been able to become indispensable. What makes you indispensable is irrespective of any disruption, you're still relevant. So the first question I want us to begin to think about is, how am I relevant to today's system? 2026 is a long game. We've seen lots of conversations going on, whether it's in the West, first world countries, Far East Asia, or in Africa with the media and shenanigans. How are you positioning yourself to become indispensable? Like I said, that the economy in 2026 is not rewarding just visibility, just showing up. And I know that's what influencers, that's what personal development coaches, what do we call it, motivational speakers have said. You have to be visible and all of that. But think about it. Once the mindset is about just visibility, that means you're gonna fit in among the crowd because everyone now is trying to be visible. Everyone now is building a personal brand. But what makes you different? It's how you're indispensable. And I said it in the last two webinars in January. Achieving your vision. That vision is open to all. Everyone has vision now because everyone has seen that, wow, if I don't have vision, I'm not going to achieve anything. So everyone has a vision board, a vision template, and excellent. But does that guarantee achievement? Does that guarantee success? No. So vision is minimum viable product. That means the minimum requirement. Everyone has it. Yeah. But what makes you truly indispensable is your USP, unique selling proposition. Unique selling point. That's what brands you. That means what makes you fitting into every system is your point of similarity. The way we look alike. We are all black people, but I can be an excellent black person. That's what makes me unique. My unique selling proposition. So what makes you unique? It's your indispensability. How can a system function without you? That's a big risk. The system, because people speak about system. But one of the things I want to tell you guys, don't jinx it. I know people say something like, you see online, they say, if your business cannot run without you, you're a failure. No, that's not absolutely true. That's contextual. It depends on what you're doing. Total absence and abstinence from your business is not leadership. Most of the great founders we've seen in today's world, billionaires, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon founder, many of those big guys, they are involved in the business. Either two, they are not doing execution. They are involved in visioneering. They are involved in strategy. They are involved in foresight. Even God is involved in the administration of earth. So sometimes, because I'm a personal development coach, of course, I don't take in every bit of information at surface level. We always like to think about it critically. That when you hear people say, oh, build systems, build structures, have your team should run without you, have SOPs. Really? Those are surface level truths. It's contextual, it's not absolute. You get to a point in time that, especially with founder-led business, like most of these great companies, Elon Musk, for example, is a face of Tesla. When you think Tesla, you think Elon Musk. Does that mean he's involved in execution? No, but is he involved very much? Because many investors will invest in Tesla because of Elon Musk. Do you get the point now? So there must be that reason why you're indispensable to any system. So this service, when the system is here, you also stand as part of the system. That's the value quotient. That's why some people, they are trying to lay off some people. Some people, they are begging them to stay in the system because of the degree of indispensability. For every system that works, it's because there's a human being working to make that system work. The AI conversation. AI is not independent of human inputs. That's it. So many people get scared. AI is going to take our job. That's because you are the low level spectrum. Now get into strategy. That's it. So that's why I've been telling people to build their personal brand, get digital skills like I'll be covering this evening. So I'm already flying ahead of myself. The economy will not reward visibility alone. It will reward indispensable value. So, and I've spoken about value. There's minimum value, minimum viable products, minimum value, especially those that are involved in execution. And I've been saying that to most of my mentees, that, those are in my cohorts. You have to get to that point where you're thinking strategy. Number one, control. Number two, ownership. Number three, leadership. The moment you don't want to play part in all these things, in any setting you find yourself, whether it's in a religious setting, corporate setting, family setting, the moment you don't have a voice, you get ready for being sidelined. Get ready for being sidelined. Are we getting the point? I want us to comment on Instagram. I want us to see, because it's a dialogue this evening, isn't it? I want us to follow me this evening. I want to see the comments on Instagram. I want to see the comments on Instagram. Thank you. I saw Blessing joined. So you don't become a VIP because you're loud. And that's look at the media in Africa today, social media. They're almost killing themselves on Instagram, on TikTok, just because they want to chase clout. You want to be relevant. But that's different. When big brands, when serious brand wants to engage with those people, they are sidelined. I know people use some of those brands just to chase traffic. But when you're building a personal brand that is founded on integrity, character, there are certain people you don't have to deal with. And of course, we know at Prime Council that we are raising and guiding the next generation of leaders. And that's why we always emphasize that the message is not for the multitude. No, what we give you is premium, high-level, superior information. I've always told people around me, if you want reels and content, go feed on 2-minute reels. But if you want to really stretch yourself to become a VIP, like you said, to become a genius, to become someone that achieves vision, someone that achieves legacy, that shapes narrative, that redefines culture, then your timetable, your syllabus will be different from an average citizen, from an average Caucasian citizen, from an average Nigerian citizen, from an average African. You can't want to be excellent on average syllabus. No, you can't. There are many people, for example, that should be live today, but they will rather be on a live session doing giveaway, and which is fine because everyone will be a product of their choices, isn't it? But the difference is the result we produce, not just in time, short form, but over time, especially in terms of thriving systems now, but also legacy. What kind of mindset can you give as an inheritance? I did those days. I used to put a post on WhatsApp speaking about parents serving God in the UK and all of that. One of my senior brothers, someone that I really respect, he said, "Oh, does that mean I should go to church or something?" And I said, "You know what? I'm not saying that the pastors in the church are perfect or something, but think about it. You expect your children to comply to you 100%, but you're drinking, you're inconsistent, you still fail as a father, but you expect total submission from your kids, isn't it? Will you tell your child that, oh, because I can't pay your school fees, because I don't have money to give you, disrespect me? No. So if you expect perfect from parents, how come you're expecting perfect behavior from another system? You see the expectations now. So, and I told him that if you continue in this way, You're gonna get to a point in your 50s, in your 60s, you're gonna tell your children, go to church, serve God. They're gonna say, no, you don't have the effrontery. You can say it, you can shout it, but your lifestyle over the years has not produced enough conviction to be able to match up that decision. So we must begin to think about what we feed on, the kind of lifestyle we live. Because if we're speaking about becoming a VIP, it's not just for you to chase personal aggrandizement. No, it's not just to feel big. It's that you want to create a particular kind of energy level. And I said it in one of my videos that our parents cried that they were oppressed, slave trade for, you know, first world countries, US, UK, but also in Nigeria, tribalism and all of that, the governmental, you know, corruption and all of that. But guess what? These same people are training their children to rule over you, to rule over your children. And the earlier if you don't wake up earlier enough, you will fall into that narrative, especially in the game of control, ownership, and leadership. It's really, really important. I've never met a follower that is a VIP. Take my word for that. Does that mean, oh, do I have to go and found a company or own something? Yes, emphatically. Go check the richest people in the world. Go check the records. How many employees or followers do you see there? Those guys are not just leaders, they are disruptors, they are trailblazers, they are pathfinders. And I see many people pray about those opportunities, they prophesy about it, but they are not acting in that path. For example, in your family, for example, in your place of work, you're not even able to let your little light so shine. Said no man light a candle and put it on a pusher. So important. And we have many people that have got lights, they've got candles, but it's under the bushel. So you don't become a VIP by being loud. You become a VIP but when you are needed. Your degree of indispensability. Your degree of indispensability. When you're needed, the door opens. I was sharing at my last webinar, I didn't say that I met a woman. She was begging to pay me for my service. Of course, I wouldn't have collected it because she's like a mother figure to me. Meanwhile, she was telling me earlier on that somebody in the family was asking her for money, but she almost cursed the person off. I can't give you anything. And I was just thinking about it. What's the difference? Value. 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 The same person that you're begging for money wants to give. Now, I was thinking about it that how come some people are killing people to buy private jets? Meanwhile, some other people on the other spectrum, they're saying that I don't want to gift again. I mean, I'm tired of cars. Don't give me cars again. Don't give me asset again. What's the difference? It's not the physical composition. It's value. And you're gonna be saying it. I want to show you how to become that kind of person that you can't be ignored. I've lived a lifestyle at least at a particular level because success is dimensional. Success is dimensional. There's what success meant for me last 10 years. There's what success meant for you now. What it means for you now. There's what success will mean for you in the next 5, 10 years. So at every level, there is always a success quotient. At one level, for example, I meet people speaking to me. I was speaking to my dad that I don't want to mark my birthday because if people hear my age, they will get shocked and be disappointed. Because they'll think, wow, this guy is far further than this. Why? The function of wisdom and value. So internally, wisdom, but what you produce, excellence and value. It's really, really important. You have to become that person that cannot be ignored. I was never like this. I used to be those that fitted into any sort of metrics. Always fitting in, no sense of identity, no sense of ownership and leadership. Once I got to the point where I started studying some other, I remember I was in the department. Some of the ladies would speak to me anyhow. Yeah, they'll speak to me anyhow. And I saw that they respected some other guys. And I was like, what's the difference? What's the difference between me and the other guys? The difference is in how they thought about being a VIP. And I began to learn how they acted. And then when I began to implement it, I saw the results. So that's when I knew that, wow, there's this law of cause and effect. It's really, really true. A VIP is somebody with leverage, definitely. What is leverage? Doing more with less. The moment you have more to give, you will always be needed. And that's why I've said it. You should have the mentality of value, not need. Don't have a needy mentality. Every VIP that you have seen out there in occasions, in conferences, on flyers, on invites, it's a VIP, is because they have something to give. Leverage. Leverage. A VIP, a very indispensable person, is scarce. So the moment you just everywhere, you're not comported, if you're just out there, because there's a context to also building personal brand. And I've said it, be visible online, but take away the trauma, the stigma part of your life and drama part of it. And we've seen that. We saw what happened to many of these guys. The founder of this company, tweets about 14 years ago, came back to later hunting because he didn't know he would become a VIP. So I'm telling you right now, because you can be thinking, anyway, I'm not a VIP, I'm just an average person. No, you're going to be a VIP in the next 5-10 years. But make sure that you don't leave any trace of blood of your past life. The internet is dangerous in today's world. That's it. That's an hard-on for you. Be careful of what you put out there. Look at what happened to Simi. I know when a culture whereby people move on from conversations, but that stigma will always be there just because of that action. I know many people that have lost brand endorsement and deals because, like, no, we can't advertise with this kind of person. Remember, put your story out there, but sift out the stigma, the trauma, and the drama part of it. I know many people want to chase clout, but it's going to come back to own them. It's going to, I'm telling you that as someone that sees into the future. Be careful when we speak about building your personal brand. It's really, really important. People are doing everything to be ready by a system that will later fall and come and haunt them. If what you do is common, you're optional. Definitely, if what you do is you're up, definitely you can't be indispensable when you fit in. If what you do is rare, you're essential. And that's why we spoke about achieving your genius status last Tuesday at the YouTube live webinar. 2-hour session over dates. If you've not watched it, you can make a request for it and the admin will send it to you, will send the link to you. Just put a request either on TikTok or on Instagram, and the admin will send it to you. Just comment YouTube. Just comment YouTube now. Let's see it, and the admin will send it to you. It's really important because many people are living like they expect to be given the genius treatment with the average mindset, doing the average job, working in average careers. Definitely, there are low-level careers. Low-level careers, and no matter your physical input, you cannot scale to the top because there's always a glass prism. There's a ceiling to what you can achieve. It's really, really important. So the first question you should ask yourself this evening is, what problem do I solve better than most people around me? For me speaking, I've told you I've spoken for 10 hours before. I've spoken for 10 hours before. I think that was some years ago. I think 3 years ago. 10 hours. I spoke for 5 hours because it comes naturally to me, being able to just dispense wisdom and value quality information because of how much I consume. I learn a lot, so it comes naturally to me. But it needs to be this way. I have to create a system to be able to dispense my value. That's why we have Prime Council here. Now we have people watching me on multi-stream platform. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram Live. And we're doing that for the past 1 year. It didn't used to be so last year. I think in 2024, December, we launched 2025, January. But if you go over our portfolio, go check Instagram. You see we have over 495 videos. Content, I mean. We've been on about 14 YouTube Live, Instagram Live about 6 or 7. That's because this is what I can do that nobody around me can speak the way I do, can relate socioeconomic context, religious context, and life wisdom that is applicable. You see that? But it didn't used to be so. I had to call HMRC in the UK to say, I'm not working as a support worker again, even though I was making money. Guys, you need to be able to make that choice, like I said, to become a genius. Remember that I can only speak here, but the choice, the decision is yours. And that's why I've said it, that the journey of 1,000 miles does not begin with a step. That's what you've been told. That particular law is inactive. Like I said, there are many truths that are not absolute, they are contextual. In today's world, the journey of 1,000 miles does not begin with a step. The journey of 1,000 miles begins, first of all, with a willing mindset that makes a decision to take the first step. We have many people, especially for trainers and coaches, trying to force people to become what they don't want to become. You'll see that. And that's why freebies don't benefit people. Freebies don't benefit people because most times, the moment you want to get premium value, premium information at no cost, you do injustice to yourself. That's it. That's a higher law, which some people may not agree with. Like, oh, yeah, yeah. But it's an injustice to yourself when you think about it critically. So I still see some people say, "Oh, can you send me that book, free ebook?" I'm like, "No, your journey to growth and greatness is still far. You're still queuing. If you can't invest in your personal development, forget about being a genius. Forget about achieving your vision. Forget about becoming a VIP. VIPs create level because they give more. Is because they invest more in themselves. In 2026, average effort will produce average results. But SP, like I always say, strategic positioning will produce exponential outcome. You have to be positioned. And now let me break down what VIP literally means. I know you've not heard this before, but I have to just think about it. Think about it. Follow my train of thought. What is V? V is value. You always say VIP, but what have you started to think about it? What is V? What does it mean to be a VIP? I've said it's very indispensable person, but in the literal meaning, what is V now? What's the acronym of V? Value. Value is competence multiplied by relevance. Blessing, I want you to take some screen recording. If you can do that, thank you. You may be skilled, but if your skill is not solving current problems, you remain invisible. Definitely. Many people have got skill. In fact, it got to a point in time. I think I had to start speaking to people. It's also about to say I'm reading books. I had to tell somebody close to me. I said, no, this book you're reading, what's the value quotient of it? Because we have many people that backs in that euphoria of have knowledge. But is it profitable in today's world? Can it solve a problem? So people say, "Hey, I read books on fiction and non-fiction and all of those fictions, any of those things." What will it solve? Any knowledge not traded with is useless knowledge. Yes, there's residual knowledge, which is knowledge stored because you want to use in the future. Fine. But any knowledge you cannot work on and implement is useless. It's useless. And many people are involved in tasks, in careers, in job functions that are not making them become genius or VIPs. So you might be asking, okay, what can I do? What kind of skills do I need to build that will make me become really valuable? I'm here to tell you. I've been saying that in all my carousels. Very good. I sit down to write my carousels. They are there on Prime Council page on my personal page, Remoli Ayola. It's there. For example, attention to details. Attention to details. And I've given this narrative. I've always used narrative. If I make a fresh plate of fried rice, put chicken, nice salad, plantain, clean, and you're salivating, you want to eat it. Yeah? And I just come and say, oh, I forgot something. And I just drop two drops of cow dungs or feces. Just put a drop there. And you'll be like, oh, what are you doing? What's that? That's not hygienic. And I say, oh, that's just something small. What do you mean? And I say, let me just clean it and just use tissue to wipe it away. We used to eat that bowl of fried rice. No. Why? Because the memory of that cow dung or that feces has infected the entire experience of that food. That's what little mistakes do to your personal brand. It reduces your excellency ratio. For those that are working in careers, you still have a job, you're an employee, you're a student. The little things that stands people out, or like they always say, the difference between extraordinary and ordinary is extra. And what's that extra? Just being inquisitive, paying attention to details. I had to learn all these things. Those are the things that make you become a VIP. When you can see beyond the smoke screen, behind what other people are seeing. The first skill you should learn in 2026 that will make you really ascend in the value quotient is digital competence. You have to move away from traditional competence. Oh, I have got first class degree. It's good, but it's not an MVP because everyone has got it. It's a MVP. Everyone has got a degree now, especially in today's world. Africa, America, Europe, people have got degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate degree. Everyone has it, but not everyone is digitally literate. When I got into BT, one of the things that I discovered is that if you're not tech savvy, you really struggle because you're always joining Zoom meetings, you're trying to schedule meeting in a different room, having to work on different software and gadgets. And those are the things that communicate to your other stakeholders. If the moment you're struggling to fix that laptop, you're struggling to get on an application, yeah, you might get it at the end of the day, but what you don't know is that you have sold a narrative to people around you that this guy is not really, really good. Think about it that way, guys. You're struggling to get you yourself, your confidence. Imagine your manager, your director is in a meeting and say, "Oh, Ayola, can you just set up?" And they're struggling. They're not going to beat you. Your salary will not reduce, but your salary will not increase because you have sold that you're not really tech savvy. Guys, become digitally competent. That's the first thing. I was showing my VA, I think sometime during the weekend, on some job description I saw on a remote job, paying thousands of I think dollars. And I was showing her that these are the skills that we are using, that she's building as Prime Counsel, MailChimp, ads, all of those things, documentation, strategy. It's really important for you to begin to learn all these things. Are you building your digital competence? Pick that, try it out. The second thing that you need to build to increase in that scale of value quotient is communication mastery. You have to communicate, you have to speak. Think about it. Let's take Nigeria, for example, a country probably struggling in the economy and all of that. But have you ever heard the minister or the president come out to say, "Oh, we're struggling. Oh, it's really bad though. Ah, we don't understand though." No, they speak boldly as leaders. Even if they may be confused, but they come speak like, we're doing well. The inflation has reduced by 2% and all of that. You have to be able to communicate, especially high-level communication. Communication mastery is really, really important. Because VIPs are the main star of the show. When a VIP enters into a conference or into a room, what you expect a VIP to do is to give a speech, a presentation, a talk. Think about it, guys. So the moment you're saying, I don't have to communicate to. So even if you're acting even if you're saying you want to be a VIP and you're not acting in a way that makes you visible, you're not speaking out loud, you're not communicating well, that inspires the audience, you're not going to be a VIP. Even though you have the operating system inside of you, everything that is internal must be expressed outwardly. Are we still following me this evening? I want us to mention and just type what struck you, what's our key takeaway. That will encourage me to share more. Thank you to my audience on Instagram and TikTok. The Bible said something in Philemon 1 verse 6. That was one of my best scriptures. It said that the communication of your faith might become effectual. He had other things there. By the acknowledging of everything that is good in Christ Jesus. That's fine. But I'm picking that the communication of your faith might become effectual. Look at that. So he's saying that faith. So faith is the adjective there. Faith. But that faith, for example, give your life to Christ. The measure of salvation. Let's be practical now. Someone says, give your life to Christ. Just give your life to Christ. If you like, don't give your life, Will you be convinced? No. But imagine somebody says you're going to hellfire, you have to give your life to Christ, and he gives reason, convincing reasons. You know, you might not give your life to Christ, but you go back home thinking, what's this guy saying? The difference is the communication. The communication of your faith. What am I saying? The communication of your convictions, the communication of your belief system, the communication of your mindset, the communication of your personality becomes effectual. Everything, a message is limited. The degree of importance, of seriousness, of gravitas of a message is limited not just to the speaker, but to the communication of it, to the expression of it. It's really important. And that's why you must be found VIPs that you know are not cynical. They're not everywhere. They don't mince words together, because everything they're doing is communication. Even their sitting position. Have you heard, even in high-stake environments, that they study body language? People literally are paid to study the body language of VIPs and leaders. Think about that, because everything is about communication. So I want to ask you this evening, what are you communicating to your environment? What are you communicating to your audience? Are you communicating seriousness? Are you communicating influence? Are you communicating impact? Or are you communicating laziness, lackadaisical attitude, mediocrity, being average? Are you communicating someone that can be pushed over or get shipped for there? That's because you've communicated that you can be pushed over. Think about that. And that's what I've said is people will say, oh, Coach Ayo is saying, do I have to be aggressive? Do I have to say no? The Almighty God that you love and serve, he said is a lamb that was slain. But he also came out to say, no, don't jinx it. I'm the Lion of the tribe of Judah. I roar. Why? Because he wants to be able to not just love, but impose judgments. So you must be that person that people are messing up around you. You should say no, put them straight, because you're communicating something. Anything that you do not resist is allowed to stay. And that's why to maintain perfect law in any institution or organization, there's always consequences, there's always judgments for perfect homeostasis. It's really important. So people say, I'm just a nice guy. People just like me. You'll be a walkover. Bible says something. Woe is unto you if all men like you. So forget about being liked. Become a person of value, a person of convictions. Are we getting the point this evening? So communication mastery. You have to know how to communicate. There are so many lessons on YouTube. Go and listen to leaders. And I said it at the emotional intelligence webinar with Counselor Mitchell. I said it. I remember me saying that. I don't know why I said that. That many of you, especially those in third world countries, will be working with multinationals. We're working with more, Caucasians, white people in Europe, in America, because of how the world is becoming a digital village. And especially now, global companies are now outsourcing their human resource from other countries because of labor, because of cost. So, for example, in the UK, most of the global companies outsource their human resource and technological needs from India because it's more cheaper there. And definitely, they're already coming into Africa. And that's how Africa needs to be positioned. If you check all over UK, for example, you find lots of black people in different sectors, even up to football. Now, there's invasion in religion. There's invasion in immigration. There's invasion in health. There's invasion in tech. But you have to be able to position yourself, to communicate your value. That you have to be able to communicate with these people at intellectual level. And that's where I said I still have a topic I'm going to share on one of my sessions. I don't know if it's going to be Instagram Live or YouTube Live, on ethics, etiquette, language, and workplace culture. 4 things. I have it there in my archive. I don't know what setting to share it, because people will be like, oh, now that one we want chop. But yeah, now that one you go chop, because my friend was speaking to me. She works with NHS, higher level. Yeah, she handles cases there. One of the cases she handled the time ago was a Nigerian telling a Caucasian person, "You know, go kill me, Joe. I beg, don't kill me, Joe." That became a serious case, an accusation of attempts for, murder. And I was like, and we all understood what it means in Nigerian language. If it's someone says, don't kill me, that means don't stress me, isn't it? Don't disturb me. But to a multinational, to a different race, it meant you're accusing the person of murder. It became a serious disciplinary issue. Give you another example. I read it, I think, yesterday also. Somebody was told the police, I went to buy drugs like a medicine, but person said drugs. You have to be able to learn all these things. And these are the things that reduces your VIP quotient. Because suddenly you're in a meeting with Caucasian people, white people, Asian Americans, and you say drugs. They won't beat you, they will laugh at it, but you've communicated a message that this person is not global in thinking and mindset. Do we get the point now? I want before I want us to I want to say a comment that will get the point. From TikTok. Yes. The third one now, the third skill you need to build is digital, no, strategic thinking. Strategic thinking. So the first one, digital competence. Second point, communication mastery. Third point is strategic thinking. You have to be able to use the brain. See, there are those that do handwork. Some are brain work. But highest level is mind work. So brain work makes you become an employee. You're good at what you do. You can, work in a company. But if you want to really be a pathfinder, a disruptor, an innovator, a trailblazer, then you want to begin to use your mind. Because like I said, vision is what others have not seen, but we see. So Elon Musk has conceived the vision that we should go to space. He's conceived it, he's seen it. Most people have not seen it, but guess what? In the next 15, 20 years, people will be going to space like they're going to US. That's what it takes to be a visionary. And because he's been able to be the first person to conceive that, he gains monopoly over that, autonomy over that. And that's why he's at over $500 billion or so. And that's why I said it in one of my covers. Vision is the ticket to become a global citizen. And what is the composition of vision? Value. Premium value at the highest level. And what do you need? Digital competence. Get familiar with that. Communication mastery and strategic thinking. Think mind work. You have to be strategic in thinking. One of the things I've started training myself is I don't want to be involved in execution anymore. High level strategy. High level strategy. Shaping narratives, redefining culture, influencing mindsets. The fourth one, let's begin to fly because of our time. Emotional intelligence. Like I said, there are people that are paid to study the body language of VIPs or very indispensable personalities and persons. They study the body language of a president, of a governor, because they want to be able to derive the message. Have you not seen people that even football players, now when they speak, they even cover their mouths? Because even when they are whispering, people are paid to read lips, isn't it? It's so important. Like, think about that. People are paid to read lips. They go analyze it in the lab or anywhere in the laboratory. So you becoming a VIP, you do not speak anyhow. The Bible said no idle word will be judged. It's not only in heaven. Every idle word is judged now on nets. Every idle word on social media will be judged. Take that from me, guys. Every idle word will be judged. And the fifth one is execution speed. You have to be fast. And that links to strategic thinking. You cannot be a slow executor. Why is Dangote so rich today? He moved fast. First movers advantage. You'll be able to monopolize and autonomize cement in Nigeria. Microsoft, Bill Gates. Think about it. So for those visions, like I said, They have written down. You're thinking, I will do it next year, I'll do it. No. All things will not be equal. Things are changing at premium speed in today's world. Governmental changes, economic changes, social changes. So you want to be abreast of change by being a fast executionist. Do you get the point now? So ask yourself this question: what measurable value? You see that value you're ignoring, that value, that thing that you can do, that talent you have. Like I said, I was imagining an ebook, your gifts, your talent, and skill. Those are the things that can make you get to the top. It's not just no structure system will give you the level of independence that you want. Take it from me. Nobody's going to pay you what you need for a life of thriving. Yes. No, think about it. Because even if they pay you, there's a superior system, for example, taxation in the UK, in the US. Even in Nigeria, as undeveloped as Nigeria is, they want to even take tax from people that are barely surviving. The system is meant to keep you beyond that survival level. You have to break away from it. And that's why there's immunity for innovators. There's immunity for business owners. Think about it. They tax employees more than business owners. How is that logical? It's not logical, but you have to play to the game. And I've been saying it's ownership, leadership, and control. But many people don't understand the point. Like, oh, what does it? Because they tax employees more than even business owner. There are many incentives for being an employer. Guys, we have to be wise. He said, be not uncircumspect in your thinking, but be wise, redeeming time for the day. We're in the evil days. It's evil for you to tax employees more than business owners. But that's the world we live in today. Lots of business owners, they get tax incentives. They have leverages from governmental. They are able to manipulate the system. They're able to manipulate the system. Just a moment. Yes. Business owners. You have to own something. You have to own something. I said it in the last webinar that Jacob said after God multiplied what he had from Laban's house, after the deal they had that the strict cattle and all of that will be his. After he got all of that, he's gotten his 2 wives now and everything. He was not contented. He said something, guys. Listen to me carefully. He said something. He said, when shall I go and have my own? You need to live. You need to gain independence. You need to gain independence. But guess what? Listen to me carefully. But he did not still build and own after getting independence. And that's what's happening to Africa. We've gotten independence, but we're not leading ourselves. We're not owning. We are independent on paper, but we're dependent in reality, importation, isn't it? So the Caucasians, the colonial masters, don't need to be in the country to rule. They rule you because you're dependent on them for your resources you use. Guess what? Jacob did not build. God told him, go to a permanent place. He did not build. When they had issue, when his daughter was raped and killed, just a moment. Oh my God. When his daughter was raped, I think it was her name, and I've forgotten her name now. When she was raped and he had to leave Shechem, he had to leave there because he said these people are more mightier than us. And that was the reason why, even in old age, he was a victim of famine. That was not a coming out with Abraham and Isaac. He had to go down to Egypt because he did not build, he did not own. No farmland, no resources. Are we getting the point now? He had to go out because he did not own. You have to own something in this economy. You have to own. You have to own. The second point is influence. So that's I. So, like we've said, V is value. I is influence. What's influence? Influence is not popularity. Influence is trust. That's it. At the premium scale. Trust. Because many people are popular. Many influencers are popular. But in terms of influence, the ability to compel narrative, redefine culture, shape mindsets, not many people. And many people mistake popularity for influence. The difference is legacy. That's the difference between, because it looks so subtle, isn't it? Someone is so popular, someone is influential. What's the difference? Impact and legacy. So both of them are impactful in their lifetime. The popular person is impactful in his lifetime, and in fact, person is impactful in his lifetime. But what about when they go? One name, his legacy outlives him. Popular people, they go down this. You know how many popular people have died that you don't remember anymore? But the ones you remember years after they've gone, those are influential people. Those are influential people. Are we still connected? Influence grows when your words match your results. Yes, your word, definitely. Like I said, trust. Your lifestyle matches your message. Your consistency builds credibility. It's really important. You don't build influence by chasing attention. You build influence by building substance, like value. Value consistently at premium standard. The message matches your lifestyle. Like I said, you practice what you preach. You're consistent, you're credible. There are no bankruptcy of followers in today's world, but the scarcity of leaders, true leaders. I want you to take that from me. We don't have bankruptcy of followers. We have scarcity of leaders. Are we still connected tonight? In 2026, because we're speaking about 2026, what's one of the things that will make you become a VIP is your digital footprint. And I said it in one of the webinars, I think sometime last year, that as of now, it appears, it's not absolute. Now it's contextual. Remember, I'm a fan of context and absoluteness. So I always make sure I don't mistake it, because that's one of the major issues of Christianity, for example, when people mistake absolute truths for contextual truths. Yeah. So I always make sure I give that emphasis when I'm making either of both statement. Now, this is contextual. It's not absolute. It doesn't mean it's absolutely true. But based on what I'm about to speak about and observation, it appears that this is the truth. It appears that your digital footprints have a major stake in your destiny actualization. It appears that what we call purpose and fulfillment quotient, it appears that your digital footprint owes the major metrics. At the moment you're not visible online, it appears you're out of the radar in today's world in 2026. And that's why there's that push for personal brand, for being visible, for being out there. So I'm going to ask you this evening, I still had a meeting with my VA this year, and I was speaking to her because she asked some KPI. I said, you have to be the personal brand. You have to be the personal brand. You have to be the personal brand. because it appears like digital footprint almost equates to destiny actualization. For those are Nigerians, you know Apoko Doctor in Nigeria, influential. Why? Because it gives premium value, lessons on health, wholeness, and well-being to majority of people. What otherwise he has saved lots of life, isn't it? Very influential, brings in value. But the impact he's been able to make, the income he's been able to earn, his influence and visibility, you cannot compare it. You can 100 doctors in a ward, that's 100 doctors in a particular hospital, match up together, cannot equate to one of Apoko Doctor. The difference is influence in terms of his digital footprint. He's on Instagram. He achieves more, the three highs: impact, influence, and income, just because he understands this thing I'm telling you. That was the first part I told you in value. Digital competence. You have to be out there. You can't hide. I told one of my mentees, I said, you have to start putting your stuffs on LinkedIn. Put a picture, put a narrate, put something with your project, your course, your students. Go on Instagram, put a picture of yourself after church, after school. Do something. How can you say you're on social media but you don't have any picture? Does that not mean the person is not normal? Think about it. You were not forced to come on social media, but you came there. You now blocked. You didn't put any picture there. In fact, some people forget about it. It's contextual, like I said. It's not absolute. It doesn't mean some people have freedom of choice, isn't it? I'm just giving you the literal facts. And people see you as weird. And I told him that, and I emphasized it, and he started acting on it. But he didn't even believe in me. He didn't even believe in what I was saying. Guess what? We're applying for a job, and the first thing they asked for his link for LinkedIn. I said, look at that. I said, in today's world, employers are checking for your digital footprints. They want to see what you're on about. I didn't know all these things early enough. I would have really gone far in the game of personal development if I had an archive, digital footprint of people I've been counseling for many years. I've been doing this thing for many years. But imagine I had that. I was telling my mentee that is very young. I said, start now. Because in the next 10 years, let us say you're 27 in the next 10 years. By that time, you will say, I have 3 years experience in this, rather than saying I'm 27, I'm starting now. There's something experience does to the hearers. There's something that someone has experienced. There's a way they communicate. There's a way the listener perceives them. For example, a doctor enters a classroom. Just by hearing that is a doctor, is a professor, there's a way you as the audience, as a student, conditions your mind to listen to what he has to offer, because you believe that because he's gone through that degree of learning, definitely anything he has to offer is value. Build your brand. Are we getting the points this evening, guys? Moiza is here. Moiza, you have to be on Instagram. You have to be on TikTok, sharing about what you know, about life lessons. Like I said, make sure you sift out the drama, the trauma, and the stigma part of it. Share life stories. The earlier, the better. Like I said, you want to be able to get the first movers advantage. Every trailblazer, pathfinder, and pace setter has this. You cannot be a pace setter being at the back now. It's literal, isn't it? Pace setter, set the pace. Trailblazer, it trails the blaze. Pathfinder, it finds the paths. And I said we don't have the bankruptcy of followers, we have scarcity of leaders. No wonder in Habakkuk 2 it says, write the vision down. That's the hardest part. That and make it plain. That he may run that reads it, isn't it? And we have many people that are ready to run. There is audience for anything you put outside today. Even if you come out naked, we have audiences that will believe in what you're doing and they will be naked with you. So if people that are doing bad things, miserable things, believe that there are people that watch them and follow them, how come you that have a measure of value don't believe that you have an audience in the community? Yes, it may not come literally at first, because most followers think that they know what they're doing. Guess what? There's the engineering of the crowd. And that's what I'm bringing to your thinking. That's the essence of Prime Counsel, guiding and raising the next generation of leaders. We cannot have a followers template and manual. No, what we share is premium information. I'm not here to amuse you. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to give you short form reels, funny videos. No, I'm here to charge you to a greater form of conformity and destiny. Are we getting the point now this evening? How many people on the stream this evening? Maybe we're 40 or 50. That's what it takes. We're on the right track. If there were 100,000 people there, then it shifts from the purpose. I'm telling you the truth. Jesus Christ, as powerful as he was, raised only 12 leaders. In fact, one fell short. But multitudes, how many were there? 5,000, 4,000, 10,000. They are needed, but they're not the majority. They can look majority, but they are minority. There's a crowd engineering. Leave the crowd. Become a VIP. Value, influence. And the third one is positioning. So to scap up on influence, your digital footprint is your silent TV. So many employers now are no longer looking for CV. They're looking for a portfolio. What have you done? And the best way to show what you have done on LinkedIn, on Instagram. LinkedIn and Instagram. Take that very serious. I'm speaking in private. Take that very serious. People have had their life turned 360 degree in terms of influence, income, and impact just because they paid attention to their personal brand. And guess what? People will fly and say, "Oh, personal brand now. Personal brand." No, but you can't start with personal brand without personal development. And that's why you need to join my Vision Clarity Call to become my mentee. Nowadays I don't preach to people anymore because we have people on our call. We have about 6 people on our call that have paid for it. We have the SPM coming up. We have people in the pipeline for Vision Clarity Call. So for some of the young guys and ladies that are still there, okay, I'll not pay. Oh, sit down there. Remember, change. We're in a fast-moving world. Before I came on this live stream, I was on of course, now you know that I joined my mentorship calls every Mondays. I'm a mentee too. I was taking down notes. I was learning. I'm starting a course this February. I've paid for one anyways. This one is a March. It's a one-off course. Quite some money. Yeah. I'm also paying for one. My coaching license is thousands of dollars. I'm going for that. Because I want to deal with brands and organization. I need to be prepared. But what are you willing to invest for your personal development? Because if you can't invest in personal development, you will build an average brand. That's it. So I've seen people say, "Oh, employ a team. Let them work with you. I can do it by myself." That's why you're not a VIP. Most VIPs, they think leverage. Now, in terms of leverage, they value time and effort more than resources. That's a talk for another day. Especially in European system. I was so broke last year. I was still paying staff, doing my other things. But I moved up the ladder of achieving destiny more than if I was making all those 300 pounds, 400 pounds going for those shifts. I was far away from that. But when people are not bold enough to make that decision, they are victims of sunk cost fallacy. Let's just be doing it now. God will help us. God is not going to help you make a decision that you should take. It's not going to help you. I'm saying it with cool voice now. What they say. What is going to help you to take that decision that you're going to know? Hey, oh Lord, embrace me. Take that decision. It's not you want to manipulate God to fit into your narrative. That's it. I called HMRC. I was in debt. I borrowed here and there. It got to a point I had to say, no, I can't borrow anymore. I broke free from it. Because get on that game of value. Get on that game of purpose. It's better out there. It's better out there when you're on purpose. First of all, you'll be happy with yourself. Secondly, you build what do they call this thing now? Compounding interest. Anything you do for 10 years, seriously, will compound, definitely. So prime counsel, even at 1 year, will start scaling. Like, money is coming in here and there, to be honest. And I'm thinking about it, if I'm doing, with what we are learning now, I can't be poor anymore. But if I was doing that job, I'll be conditioned to always go there till my old age. The company that you're working, that you want, you are going to school to go and work. It is a human being like you that created it, that sat down one day, out of the blues. They were a pathfinder. Like I said, invention and innovation. What is invention? Bringing something out of nothing. Newness of an idea. You can say, "Oh, I'm not an inventor. I don't have any novel idea." You can be an innovator by being excellent, bringing something new out of an existing system. That's not just newness of an idea, but freshness of an idea. Oh, boss, how can we make this thing more better? You make them earn more money, you reduce, bottlenecks, you increase efficiency. You can lay demand, you become indispensable to that system. That's value. So is it that you're an inventor or you're an innovator? Is that not clear enough, guys? You see these things. I know these things at the back of I know I can't be poor. Yes, I've prayed about it, but it's not just I know what to do. I have a corporate job. I'm still working. I'm in my season of domestication. Once to scale this to the next level, probably in the next 5 years, I'm gonna quit. Focus on this. But I've built systems and structures. Not the ones that I will now have to work in. Yes, not just in execution, but in strategy. Just being the face of the brand. Because I've been able to build that influence over the years. I'm going to Luton in April. I'm not living in Luton. What's the guarantee that I will get? It's because I've lived in Luton before. I didn't when I was living in Luton, I didn't know that I'll be doing SPM 2.2 in Luton after like 5 years. I came to Luton in 2019. But the way I lived my life, I was a serious person. I didn't live haphazardly. There was any useless stigma, trauma. Oh, this guy is caught somewhere, one thing, spoke this way, fighting on the streets. They knew me at least as someone that is a pastor. They say pastor. I'm not a pastor anyway, but when you begin to live a non-conformist life, when you begin to live a sort of regimented life, people just say those kind of things. They call you a pastor. They say oli oli. Those are their own way of, making themselves feel good. But you know what they mean. What they mean is that you're disciplined, you're serious, you're influential, you're strategic, you know what you're doing. That's what they mean. And that's how people are going to get tickets. Not because of SPM 2.2, but because they know that Coach Ayola is that person that has built that reputation over the years. You get the point now. The third point is positioning. Positioning determines perception. That's it. I've been trusting God. I said, God, expose me to greater and bigger platforms. I know He has answered it. What do I have to do? Position myself. That's why we're on TikTok now. So, guys, you have to go on TikTok. There are people out there. He said something. Said that a man is diligent in his business, he shall stand before king. But what you didn't see in that scripture is see. What many people hear and see in that scripture is diligence. You have to be hardworking. Hardworking where? Hardworking to who? Who is watching you being hardworking? That determines your reward. Do you know that? They see. They have to see you. Positioning determines perception. Two people can have the same equal skills. The one who communicates it better wins. The one who positions himself wins. So for those that are in Luton, Moise, have you gotten your ticket? Go get your ticket, invite your friends. They need to be positioned. You have to be positioned. Jesus Christ in Matthew 7 or so, I think Matthew 7 or 9, said, at the last day of the feast, the great day of the feast, Jesus Christ stood and cried with a loud voice, positioning. He's Jesus Christ. He could have spoken with a soft voice, but because he wanted visibility, he wanted to be heard, he cried with a loud voice. That's antenna, speaker. That's what they call ads now. Ads. Blessing. Do you get the point now? Blessing is part of my team. Ads. Distribution channel. Multi-stream. Why are we paying on streamer than we stream every month? We are positioning ourselves. Get the logic now. Positioning answers why should we choose you? Because there are many people. Why should we choose you? Your USP, unique selling proposition. What problem do you solve? If you cannot clearly state this in one sentence, you are not positioned here. Definitely. If they ask what are we doing at Prime Council, we are raising and guiding the next generation of leaders. That's why we will not be on trends and leaders create trends, we don't trend. They create it. We don't make choices. We're not, you can't say come and make this choice. No, we create the options. What do I mean? People say something like, oh, we'll choose good leaders, select good leaders. No, that's low level thinking. Get into the back end, like I said, into the policy room. Get into the primaries. That's where they decide who emerges as the candidate. Isn't it? So now they give you 4 options. You as the end user, as a consumer, you are picking between those 4 options. But the best way to really influence change in US culture is to be at the place whereby they are presenting that 4 options. Be at the option table, not at the choice table. That's what I'm saying in essence. Create options, not make choices. The one that creates the options dictates the narrative. Yeah. The one that creates the options dictate the narrative. Come on, you have to make a choice. Who told you that? No, I have to create the options. I have to create the options. Most people want recognition without refinement. Now, we're about to conclude. You want visibility without discipline. But the VIP status is built in private before it is rewarded in public. Yes. Personal development is really important. Look at that statement. Personal development. That's to be person centered first. Development is what you see out there. The person is inwardly. The person is inward. Development is what people see. But the first one is personal. And Jesus Christ increased in wisdom and stature. Many people like the appearance of stature. Young, rich, and famous, tall, built, and big. But it's a function of internal wisdom. That's why you have to read books, the fundamentals. Get a mentor. Expose yourself to invest in your personal growth and development. You see many of these VIPs in today's world, they still go to Harvard, they go, not because they literally need it, but that's what regulates and keeps them at that VIP status and quotient. You cannot outperform your preparation. I'm preparing for bigger platforms now, to be honest. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. And it's going to happen very soon. You're going to be hearing some of those testimonies of platforms, but it's not going to just come because God just loves me like that. He's seen a certain commensurate level of preparation back end. What does it take to speak to 1,000 people and influence change? What does it take to speak to 5,000 people? How do you communicate your message at that point? And that's why I'm doing this over and over again. If you want to be treated like a priority, you must operate at a premium level. Write that down. Your life has to be premium. You cannot behave averagely, mediocre thinking, and expect premium and priority, treatment or preference. No. Everything you do has to be premium. Every of my suit is detailed. Every of my suit. There was a time I went to adjust one of my suits. The morning that I used to adjust it, to buy another suit. I'm saying the truth. But because I'm a personal development coach, you have to represent the brand. The brand is clean, excellent, detailed. I cannot just go wake up in the morning. What I want to wear, don't let me even go into that. Not all Sundays are equal for me. There are Sundays that because of the kind of people I want to meet, there's certain kind of outfit I plan to wear. Yes. Look at what I'm wearing for Instagram Live because I use Instagram Live as a step down for YouTube Live. YouTube Live is like it's like service. It's like Sunday service. Instagram Live is like midweek service. That's why I'm chilled, relaxed. You see the background here. This is my sitting room. You can never see that on a YouTube Live. That's service. That one will come with unction. With Instagram, will come with just action. With YouTube is unction. Yes, I said if you want to be treated like a priority, you must operate at a premium level. So if you want professional treatment, if you want premium treatment, you have to think premium. You have to behave like a noble. You have to behave like a king. I know it's not in the scripture, but I've seen, I know this quote. It said, "You cannot see the prince without the king's apparel." You cannot want to expect, or you can't command or demand royal treatment without thinking royal. Two things: communication, appearance. That's how people judge. That's perception management now. Because I said it in the last webinar that there's the internal part of genius status, awareness of who you are. You know who you are, your identity. But you must communicate to perception what people think of you. And that's why Jesus Christ said something. Jesus Christ knew he was the Son of God. He knew himself. I'm from the Father, I'm the Word, I'm the living Word, and all of that. But he had to ask the disciples, who do men say I am? And they began to say is Elisha, Elijah, is Moses. But he now asked the disciples, who do you think say I am? I said, that was Christ, the Son of God. And he said, flesh and blood does not reveal this. Jesus Christ cared about perception, not because he really defined him, but it's important to know what people think about you. Perception management is majorly, first of all, appearance. How you appear shapes who comes to you, but also communication. So appearance draws them from afar. The communication keeps them near. Figure that for me. Appearance draws them from afar. Your communications keeps them near. Oh, we're out of time. It's so hot this evening. Do you want me to continue or stop? I have some practical steps here. But if you want me to stop, I could stop. That's enough for tonight if you want me to stop. So I'm going to wait if you want me to stop. I need 3 responses from the audience. Just 3 responses on Instagram. If I should continue or stop. Just type continue or stop. Yes, I need 2 more responses. I don't want those, honestly, I appreciate that you are listening to me, but one of the things that will give me deeper satisfaction is that I begin to see this result in your lives. I begin to see you move forward. That's the major fuel for what we do. Transformation, not motivation. It's transformation. Are we getting more responses? It's transformation. So practical steps for you, so you can document this down. Practical steps to become a VIP in 2026. Just to give you a recap. Practical steps. Upgrade your skills stack to your skills. Do not depend on one source of value. Combine skills. So look at this: communication plus digital technology plus leadership plus data. For example, I'm in a data analytics training. That's different from what I'm doing with personal development and all of that. Just to be able to know how to, use data. You have to be so skillful, so upgrade it, learn new things. Are we getting that? I'm not seeing any comments on Instagram. Number two, increase your visibility strategically. Share insights. Teach what you learn. Document your growth. Yeah, share insights. There's a law that says, there's a Bible verse that says, give us never lack. So give value. All the things I'm doing, you're thinking maybe, oh, it's free. No, but there's a law of life that says, if you give value, no matter what, there's a system that makes sure that you receive. Is an hidden system. Says, give us never lack. The third one is join high value rooms. Remember, positioning. Proximity accelerates positioning. I'm going to explain this. I want us to just take note of what I've mentioned. Proximity accelerates positioning. I'll use a case study of the founder of Winners Chapel, Bishop Oyedepo. Yeah, his children are pastors. Yeah, and they are very outstanding and great pastors, preachers, and teachers, apostles, for that matter. One of the reasons that's helped them is not because it's not necessarily for their personal, should I say, investment only, but because of their proximity to that kind of grace, because they get to see the back end process of their father, the Bishop Oyedepo, that we people like us on the outside cannot see. That's what made the disciples the apostles. They saw the back end process of what Jesus Christ did. They had to go meet Jesus Christ and said, teach us how to pray. He taught them many things. He took them to the mountain of configuration. Peter, John, and I think James. Those were the foremost apostles among the rest. So there was a group of 12 and there was a group of 3. You want to be in strategic rooms, join high value rooms, go for conferences, go for programs. I think I shared some programs to some people, something for ladies and all that. Some people gave me thumbs up. I was like, look at that. Your journey is too far. Look at that. There's no one that sends me opportunity. Even if I will not pursue it, I will engage with it. I'll check it. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, this is why I cannot qualify. Just to give a feedback that I appreciate this effort. The moment they say that you don't value what is shared to them, they won't share to you anymore, isn't it? Be always ready to receive. Be at alert. The fourth one is develop discipline. Consistency is more powerful than talents. Discipline. Most VIPs you see out there, look at the royal family. Have you ever seen their nudes online? How come you that want to become a VIP? Apologies for the ladies. Why come there's cleavage everywhere? We're in the cleavage season now. Almost every person status you check now, or like contextual, not everybody. I mean, most of the people I see now, you see cleavage one place or the other, which is not supposed to be so. You're a royal. So if you're a royal person, check the royal people you see, the Queen Elizabeth, the Duke or the Duchess of Wales or something. How do they behave? They are covered. Why? Cover yourself as a guy. Dress neatly. Be clean. Discipline yourself. Be disciplined. Don't speak anyhow. I must say my mind though. You say your mind. Like I said, every idle word is no longer judged only in heaven, but on earth. People have tried to blame, people have tried to downplay people now. I think there was one time somebody said a child looked like one gospel minister, and they had to take the person to court, and they were begging. Every idle word is no longer judged in heaven. On earth. Continue there. Just like I said, if you want to really create change, if you want to really be heard, Be in the policy room, not in the comment section. And lastly, build personal standards. Build personal standards. How you speak, how you dress, how you deliver, how you respond under pressure. I think there was one time I gave somebody the opportunity to lead a prayer. And the person said, "Oh, yes, so I know I don't usually join, but that's being naive. You're not being truthful there. That's not that information is unnecessary. You only communicate that you are not where yes refined. Leave the prayer, bro. Stop all this unnecessary. I must say my mind. Just I have to be sincere. Sincerity will have taken many people to jail. Unnecessary sincerity. The Bible says, "Speak truth with grace, grace and truth." Are we clear, guys? So VIP is not what you claim. I must be no, no, no. It is what you consistently demonstrate. That's why we have VIPs that are not believers. Very indispensable personality. Bible said in I think is in Psalm is in Isaiah 45 verse is it let's check it. I think it's Psalms 40. It's Isaiah 45 verse 1. Let's check it. I'm gonna show you something. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus. Cyrus is a pagan king. He's not a believer. But God said this is anointed. Why? Because he was indispensable. You know, God was going to save the children of Israel from famine in Egypt. Why didn't he give the dream to one of the Israelites? He gave the dream to Pharaoh because Pharaoh had the capacity. Many of the conversations I want today is falling to unbelievers because they have the capacity, they're indispensable, they are thinking galactic. And I did the I think I wrote down something in one of the webinars about the mandate, Acts 1 verse 8. They shall receive power after the Holy Ghost has come upon you, and shall be witnesses unto me in Judea, in Samaria. And I began to say, you move from local to I think state to regional to intercontinental to the uttermost part of the earth. That's galactic. So there's atmospheric, which is on this earth. There's planetic. So there are levels to greatness on earth. Look at Elon Musk and those guys that are thinking about going to the moon, going to Mars. I was doing a research one day and I was like, wow, this is ridiculous. Going to Mars. Do you know what it means? But that's the mission of certain people. I mean, some people are on TikTok dancing. Let me conclude, guys. In every organization, in every community, in every industry, there are three types of people: the replaceable, the reliable, but the irreplaceable. In 2026, choose to become irreplaceable. Yes. And that's why you have to be a genius, because you cannot be irreplaceable in every aspect. No, 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 no. They call Messi the god of football. God of football. He is not the God of everything. God is the Almighty God, is the God of our whole. Bishop Oyedepo is only relevant as touching his area of. He said it by himself. It's not about me saying. He said if he went into politics, he will fail woefully because that's not his area of genius. Have you found that your area of genius of advantage? That's where you can become irreplaceable. The moment you are just trying to survive doing things, you the worst case scenario is that you'll be reliable, and that one is too dangerous. Because now systems are replacing, they are more efficient and effective. And that's what makes for being reliable, your degree of efficiency and effectiveness. But now systems, especially AI, are doing that. But what AI cannot do is when you acquire those things I mentioned. AI cannot be emotional intelligence. So don't just listen this evening. You start implementing, start building. Becoming VIP is not a title. It's a journey to transformation. And 2026 will reward those who are prepared. So guys, get back into personal development. into growth. Build your brand. For those that have had the measure of personal development, you start building your brand. Become a voice. Remember, it's value, influence, and positioning. Those are the key metrics to become a very indispensable personality in 2026. Thank you very much, guys. Have you got any question? I can take a question just before I leave. Have you got any question? I could take a question just before I leave. So if you can type your question, I will just take it. Yep. For those in Luton, we need to have we already started for the SPM masterclass coming up. Registration is people are already getting their tickets. You don't want to message and try to get your ticket and there is no slot anymore. We have slot for 60 people. It's already going so fast, to be honest. It's going so fast, to be honest. Yes. Yes. So VIP is very. Mhm. I think we're having issues on Instagram. Yes. So VIP's value, influence, and positioning. Yes. So it's very indispensable personality. Do we have any questions? I think someone was asking a question on TikTok. And this is the next webinar, becoming valuable now in 2026. So we're going to be speaking about the hidden currency of influence and opportunity. That's Tuesday, 31st of March. It's coming, so it's just about a few weeks away. You don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss that. And the SPM, like I said, if you're in Luton and environment, if you're in the UK, you need to be in the room on the day. Let me answer. Need to be in the room. So if there are no questions, thank you very much for joining me live on Instagram this evening. We multi-stream to different platforms, on YouTube, on TikTok also, and see you on the 31st of March for becoming valuable in 2026, the hidden currency of influence and opportunity. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching. We are sure you have been truly empowered and inspired to take the next step forward.
To connect with us, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Prime Council for our video resources. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Prime Council _.
Prime Council, guiding next generation leaders.
Every dream is possible when you have the right vision, strategy, and the right guide. Your growth is not a chance, it's a choice. It's time to invest in your growth.
Prime Council across the media space, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, is now launching its services.
Vision Clarity Call, one-on-one counseling and mentorship, profit from scripture masterclass, and leadership training. To access our services, visit our Instagram page and click the link in our bio. Select Get Our Services and choose your desired service on the website. and register for the Strategic Positioning Masterclass coming up on the 20th of December 2025. The slot is filling so fast. Thank you for staying with Prime Council.
Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens when potential is challenged, refined, and given a voice. 1 year ago, Prime Council was founded with a clear mission to develop leaders, strengthen confidence, and unlock growth from within. We believe leadership is not about position, but about influence, clarity, and courage. Through public speaking and personal development, we help individuals grow into their capacity, communicate with purpose, and lead with conviction. We are a movement that motivates growth, builds confidence, and turns fear into fuel. This is Prime Council, 1 year in, and we are only getting started.
In January 2025, Prime Council officially emerged as an organization, but its story began earlier. What started in 2024 as a simple WhatsApp community became a movement, a growing space committed to transforming the mindset, capacity, and leadership posture of young people. By April 2025, that vision was formally established as Prime Council Limited, a UK-based organization with a clear mandate to raise and guide value-driven leaders across every sphere of influence. In January 2025, we hosted our first monthly webinar. By December 2025, we had successfully delivered 12 monthly webinars alongside 3 Instagram Live leadership conversations and 1 dedicated skills training session for our volunteers, equipping both our audience and internal team with tools for growth and execution. Recognizing the need for deeper, personalized transformation, Prime Council expanded its offerings in August 2025 with the launch of the Vision Clarity Call and one-on-one mentorship sessions, providing strategic guidance, accountability, and clarity to individuals navigating purpose, career, and leadership decisions. December 2025 marked a significant milestone. We hosted our first physical training series, the Strategic Positioning Masterclass, in Birmingham, United Kingdom. With over 35 emerging leaders and early career professionals in attendance, the session created an environment of learning, strategy, and transformation, reinforcing Prime Council's commitment to tangible, real-world impact. Behind the scenes, growth was happening as well. Our team expanded fourfold, growing from 2 to 8 dedicated members, significantly increasing productivity, collaboration, and delivery capacity. This growth reflects not just numerical expansion, but a strengthening of systems, structure, and shared vision. Throughout this journey, Prime Council has remained anchored to excellence at global and godly standards, guided by our foundational pillars: impact, influence, income. As part of our commitment to accessible transformation, we also launched our first digital product, the Prime Council Personal Development Guide, now available on our website. This resource serves as a